All right. We are live. I haven't done one of these in a while. How is everyone? Um, I believe it's Saturday and a lot has been going on in my life. Those of you guys that don't know me, Rob Garcia, the Warrior Strategist, San Diego's preferred visibility and PR expert, taking experts, turning them into highly visible industry leaders. It's great to see you guys. This has been an immensely action-packed week. Lots going on, lots of achievement, lots of growth. In this broadcast, going to be talking about a couple different things that'll help you as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. As always, if you have questions, pop them into comments. And currently broadcasting live to TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and my Facebook business page for Rob the Warrior Strategist. So we'll be seen by a good amount of people today, which is great. Let's see. We're going to be discussing the effects of polyphasic sleep, how to use it for your business. We're going to be talking about the event going on in San Diego today that I'm going to be attending in a couple hours. We're going to talk about my expansion to Garcia Global Media. And then we'll talk about why I'm wearing this hat. There's actually a story behind this hat. So, we'll probably go about 8 minutes today, maybe 10 minutes. Don't want to keep you for too long. And if you have business questions, feel free to ask me. I always love teaching business stuff and showing people how to free themselves from their 9 to 5 and work for themselves if that's their goal. All right. Right out the gate, as always, my broadcasts are brought to you by Shift Magazine. And you can read it free at shiftlifedesign.com. This is the magazine that I founded and that I own. This month's issue is Kate Monroe, CEO of VetCom. And we talk about her life as a U.S. Marine turned CEO, helping veterans to get over $1 billion in awarded disability money. VetCom does various things for the community. They help out veterans. They travel to Washington to help draft legislation to protect veterans. Really good company to be affiliated with, and I love my own consultancy with them. Kate Monroe has been an amazing business leader, a mentor, a friend. So it was a natural pick to put her on the cover. And she was also voted Veteran of the Year at the Service and Sacrifice Gala, hosted by Blue Lapis Media in San Diego in November. So anyway, check out Shift Life Design if you want to know more about business or read about some amazing business leaders. I try and put a lot of things this isn't just like another fluff business magazine. This is actual like higher end top performers, really successful people you can learn from. I always want Shift to be a learning experience. And that's why I put a lot of effort into this. Shiftlifedesign.com. So this week, I had a lot of expansion, and the one thing I did, and thanks to the aforementioned Kate Monroe at VetCom, the one thing I did was interns. First time in my life, I have interns from SDSU, and it is awesome. I had 14 people apply for 4 slots. I made my picks, and the ladies I chose were so smart. One of them is into statistical analysis. One of them is a really talented blogger. She's going to be my journalist/writer. One of them we're going to turn into an entertainment reporter. So we're going to be launching a show affiliated with Garcia Global Media. We think it's going to be called Lindsay Unfiltered, and we're going to be talking about popular movie culture, things like that. And we're going to be selling ads for it. So if you want to be on Lindsay Unfiltered for your business, let me know. I will sell you some advertising really, really cheap because we're just launching and we absolutely are going to go viral. Lindsay is so freaking good on camera. So interns, found out a couple things, learning this process. I'll do another broadcast straight up on interns, like how to manage it, how to get it going. But I'm telling you right now, force multiplier. Okay. Don't be a cheap ass and do unpaid. you can. And they're telling me a lot of people are still out there. A lot of companies are still doing unpaid internships. That's not who I want to be because I want to be successful. Uptown Girl NYC will tell you, you have to have a standard in life. You have to, if you want to ascend, you have to be the ascension. So I made sure to pay them, and they get to work here in the home office here with me and go to the Encinitas office, and then I feed them unbelievable food. It works out for everybody, and their talent level is ridiculous. And they're all like 20, 21, 22. I've been so impressed with them so far. Uh, their ability at TikTok, their mastery of creative design, social media, the way that they've been bonding and doing team projects together. It does not feel like work and it doesn't feel like school. Like it's actual fun because they know they're doing something. Krista, the team captain, and Ashley both did their first media pitch today on my behalf. They pitched me for something for the news. I was really proud of them because so we went through the whole process um, of pitching a client to the news, and they successfully did it. And I was really happy for them because they both wanted to learn like more PR stuff, and that's a good 40% of my job as a PR and visibility expert. So I was super proud of them for that. And then Lindsay was working on her logos, her fonts, her design schedule, like production schedule and stuff for Lindsay and Filtered. And we had a couple girls from SDSU that were working remote, so they're going to be doing support this weekend. And overall, it's been unbelievably positive, and it's kept me energetic because I've worked from home alone for so freaking long, and I never realized like how truly lonely I am in entrepreneurship. And just to have the interns coming in like once or twice a week, and all of us are on the WhatsApp, like supporting each other. We set up a group chat, which is really smart, so we can share files and we can talk about business stuff, expansion ideas, whatever. WhatsApp has been really, really crucial for running a team. Um, and we got Ryan Hunt coming on. Ryan was just at some event he didn't invite me at. Shame on you. We got Michael Peterson. Doug Barry, famed author of the Jasper and Friends series. I bought a coffee mug because Jasper's awesome. Find him. Just Google Jasper and Friends book. It's a great series if you have young kids. Cannot shout out the Jasper series enough. They're fun to read. So yeah, the interns I'm going to be adding to the team. I'm going to be getting it up to between 7 and 10 people, I think, and then splitting between the Hillcrest office and then VetCom, who funds the internship program. Huge shout out to Kate Monroe for greenlighting this project. It's going to work out good for everybody. So thank you, Kate, for making this. I was originally just going to fund like one or two of them, and I was just looking at money and what I could afford. And Kate's like, "Oh, that's nothing. I'll pay for the whole thing." I was like, "Okay, awesome." That's how Kate rolls. She's not messing around. Mike Peterson says, "Where's the coffee?" Got a bunch right here. So let's talk about the topic that I wanted to bring up. Polyphasic sleep. So this is a really interesting thing for entrepreneurs. And the first thing I'm going to tell you before I start talking about this is not for everybody. You have to have certain criteria and your body has to react to it the right way. And if you feel that it's not healthy, don't do it. Polyphasic sleep means you break up your sleep into different parts of the day. You do not do a full 8 hours at night. And this has been very, very useful for my productivity. I feel like I'm getting 200% more done. But you have to be consistent. You have to listen to your body. And then if you start feeling spacey or weird, definitely stop what you're doing, get some sleep, because it means your sleep debt, your sleep debt, like internal clock is messed up because you're not doing it correctly. But basically it's hitting REM sleep, letting your body naturally wake up as soon as it's recharged, and then just going for it. So let me give you an example. Last night I went to bed at 8:30. I was up at 1 o'clock, 1 a.m. So I got about 4 or 5 hours, right? Solid sleep. And then I was up at 1. I was up folding clothes for about 2 hours and cleaning. So this is why I need this really bad. I got a ton done, like as far as housework, laundry, whatever. And then I went back to sleep at about 3:30 till 4:30. Just needed an hour. And once I had that, boom, up, good to go. And now I'm just gonna go through my day. I might take like one midday nap if I can sneak it in. But I know it sounds super crazy. And like I said, it's not for everybody. If you have a family, they will hate you. But if you can get around that, polyphasic sleep helps you get so much more done in business. Um, I feel good. I start out my day with exercise, like running or weights. But it's really for the productivity because you're just super, super focused. So when I got up at like 1 o'clock, I popped on a comedy podcast. This is like Joe DeRosa or something. And I just folded laundry and cleaned my room. And it's really good for housework. You got to get like an hour or two of housework. Polyphasic sleep is the answer. And we got Gus Gonzalez. What's going on? So Gus just sent me my new commercial, and I love it. And we run Facebook ads to it for Save Global Media. It was done in conjunction with voice actor Mike Dolbo, who's a veteran, Oregon National Guard. Gus did an amazing job, and he himself has his team of interns. They're his children. I really like the way that he's set up everything, and he's still serving in the Marines. So shout out to him. Which brings me to this hat. And Joe, that's funny. Joe Palacios, also a Marine, just asked me about it. Said Air Force issue boonies. Okay, so we're going to get in the DeLorean. We're going to go back into time. We're going to talk about history. So, excuse me. This hat takes me back to my first company, Blue Dragon Enterprises. In 2009, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I knew that I was going to kind of do my own thing. I wasn't going to rot in a cubicle. And I started a guy in my unit, believe it or not. I had no business experience. I was just a skateboarder. I just wanted to do something with skateboarding, right? And I was probably 29. I started Blue Dragon Enterprises. I had no business plan. I didn't know how to run businesses. I had like one skateboard, like one graphic, and like I printed out about 100 decks and then got some no-name trucks and wheels. Actually, I did a run of wheels. So they were printed. And then I started like testing out various clothing items. And this is one of them. This was the symbol for Blue Dragon. It's the Ankara. It's an African symbol for wisdom. I like the way that it looks. And Blue Dragon actually sold quite a few completes. I sold almost all my stock, and it's important that that I learned the lessons, right? So as I went through, I didn't have any advertising. I didn't have, social media was just starting back then, so I couldn't rely on that. And the only place I tried to advertise in Thrasher, I was kind of thinking that was going to work, and I did have like one crazy early stage win. So if anybody here skateboards, for about a year, Frankie Hill, who is the most popular street skateboarder in the 90s, absolutely for like 2 years, was on the team. And so was Eric Ricks, who was the first guy to nose blunt slide a handrail. Both of them in the 90s were the number one Pal Pros for Pal Peralta. And both of them rode for Blue Dragon for like a year. And I have photos, you fuckers, if you don't think if you think I'm telling tall tales, because it's kind of like saying, oh, hey, Michael Jordan, played for my basketball team, my startup basketball team for about a year. That's the equivalent of it. But anyway, this hat was one of the items that we would sell. And then Blue Dragon eventually would become more of a lifestyle brand. And I attempted life coaching for about 8 months, like trying to make it as a life coach. And it just didn't feel right. And so the reason I'm wearing this hat for this broadcast is to remind you guys, sometimes your business needs to evolve. It needs to align. You need to love it. You need to truly, truly love what you do in order to get maximum profits, in order to grow, in order to feel passionate about it. Garcia Global Media is about love. It's about doing things that I really enjoy doing, writing, reaching out to celebrities, working with working and helping veterans. There's so many aspects of it, making partnerships, supporting veterans. But Blue Dragon Enterprises is a skateboard company. It was fun. And then I got into, like I said, I got into life coaching, but it just didn't. And the reason I did it was because so many people were asking me for advice. So many. They just wanted like my advice on life or relationships or their own potential or whatever. I was like, I can do this. I'm going to be a life coach. I'm going to teach people this shit. And the early years, my branding, I go back and look at it because it's so cringy. Primary colors, me scowling at the camera, looking like a vet bro, thinking I was like Jocko Willink. Like, this is even before Jocko. But the point is, I was so pissed off. And just being a life coach and being pissed off don't really go together for the most part. You have to be like positive and inspiring, and I was not. I was just a guy that was exercising a lot and really fucking hated the world at that time. And so I evolved and I became a business strategist, even though I'd only had like one business, and I ran it. I wouldn't say I ran it into the ground, but I definitely didn't run it well. I couldn't live off it. And I was finding my brand identity. And you have to evolve. You have to figure out a direction. You have to kind of let the universe guide you. And then I started getting into a little bit more visibility stuff. I started like doing press releases. I started like getting a lot of interviews about my story. So my own personal story is crazy. High school and two-time college dropout, turned PhD. And I got a lot of podcast interviews. And I would end up being interviewed like over 200 times just on my story alone. My family wasn't great, and I left home at 18. I moved 16 times in my childhood. Like, I just went through all this bullshit. But as I went through all these iterations, I finally settled into a brand identity that I liked, and Rob the Warrior Strategist was born. And it took about 2 or 3 years before I came up with Rob the Warrior Strategist. And now if you Google it, it's serious. It comes up quite a bit. And that's a good thing. But the hat is a reminder. I still have a few items from the Blue Dragon days, and it reminds me of, hey, you started this. This might not have worked out, but the other stuff did. The other stuff is awesome. So just keep that in mind. Stay inspired. And if your business bores you or you feel like it's a rut, congratulations. All you've done is create a 9-to-5 that's mobile. And you have to go back and you have to absolutely love what you do. You have to make it fun again. I was already pretty happy doing what I do with the clients I work with. And holy shit, CivDiv? Dude, can I interview you like right now? If you got a couple minutes, let me invite you on. And Kate Monroe at VetCom loves you. Your content is so freaking good. Sorry, we just had a rock star pop on, another veteran that I know quite well. I'm fanning out a little bit. So anyway, where was I? So as I went through it, selling skateboards didn't work out for me from a business perspective. Being a life coach didn't work out for me. It was kind of an easy transition. It's an easy job. Being a life coach is fucking easy. I don't care what anyone tells you. It's not that demanding. But being a business strategist and then a visibility strategist and then a visibility tactician, that was fun. That is who I want to be. And then as I'm doing this stuff in 2025, it's getting unbelievably fun. Relaunch of Shift Magazine, bringing in interns. I'm going to be launching the Tactical CEQ podcast. I already have a bunch of great interviews already in the hopper. I've just never branded or actually had a production schedule. So that's going to be another media platform I can use. And I was named as director of PR and media strategy for VetCom. So all these things coming together have made 2024 unbelievable. And then working with Cadre Media has been incredible. So they make my commercials, and they make commercials for business owners, short form commercials that are really, really graphically fun. So yeah, that's that's what's been going on. So let's see what else. What else? Let's talk real quick about hot sauce. So, as you guys know, one of my clients is Sean Kanan from Cobra Kai, and he launched Bad Boy Hot Sauce. You can get it at badboyeats.com. This is the infamous Cobra Venom made with Carolina Reaper bits. And if you like spicy, this is Sean's 10 out of 10 blend. This goes well on steak, and this will burn your mouth. Not in an obnoxious way, though, but it'll definitely set your tongue on fire. I use it very sparingly on steak because every time I put it on, it's super intense. You will actually see the Carolina Reaper little bits in it. It's a wild blend. But if you're not a super spicy fan, check out the other flavors. There's mango, and which is a little bit spicy, but it's very sweet and tangy. And then red pepper punch is probably my favorite. It's a little bit mellow. It's like 4 out of 10. I put it in chili. So get them at badboyeats.com. It is a spectacular product, and I'm super excited. Thank you to Sean Kanan for giving me the PR and the marketing account for this. I absolutely love this product. So anyway, yeah, it's been incredible, 2025, but it's because I had to evolve my business, and I had to get into, to be honest with you guys, I had to get into a lot more spirituality. And this is such a misunderstood topic for a lot of people, especially for veterans. Spirituality isn't religion, and people confuse the two. I haven't been rubbing crystals. I haven't been meditating at the beach, although that kind of does sound fun. More like I have delved into myself and focused on my relationships with myself and with others, being selfless, making sure that I'm tapped into my network, supporting people, journaling, gratitude, quite a bit of exercise. I lost about 8 to 10 pounds recently, and I'm happy with that. I still have a ways to go, but I'm very happy I'm consistent. And Rue Munoz has been very inspiring as well, because he's doing it the right way. Like he'll shoot these videos where he's on his treadmill, like at his house, and he's like talking about business and doing lives. And when you combine two things that help you, it's compounding. So just like compound muscle exercises are really good for your body. So if you are hitting like 2 or 3 muscle groups with one exercise, like a squatting dumbbell lift, I do these guys with a dumbbell, like a 35, and you do squats and you lift up the dumbbell. Just, most of your body is impacted by that. And so when you can do something like Rue is doing, where he's doing a live, talking to people, networking, putting out like fire ass content, but he's also exercising. That's a compound action. What I did last night, I very rarely play Xbox or watch TV these days, just because I've been super business oriented. But what I did last night was ended up playing some Xbox for about 30 minutes and listening to Tony Robbins, and it was very powerful. Just listening to Tony talk about the human mind and optimal performance, all kinds of Tony Robbins shit. But try to compound things, try to combine exercises, try to listen to something worthwhile while you're doing housework. If you're exercising, try and exercise and multitask if you can. But you'll get a lot more done, and I've really enjoyed this. Like this morning when I got up, I was doing my polyphasic shit, this sleep bullshit. I was up at 1:15, 1:30, and I was listening to a comedy podcast and folding laundry, and it helped. It made the time fly. I got a lot of laundry folded. My room looks actually pretty good. But it's just those small things that make life better and make certain tasks a lot more bite-sized and palatable. All right, so let's see what else is going on. The event today. So the Queen's Expo, hosted by Marie Waite, is happening today. I think it's at the Best Western on Shelter Island in San Diego. It runs from 8 to 4:30. You're going to see a lot of great guest speakers. A fashion show. Walla is the CEO of Walla is my friend Dawn, and her designs are fascinating because she pairs fashion designs with a piece of art. So if you see a dress, there's going to be a painting with the same scheme. Um, Dawn is super, super talented. She's going to bring all the models. There's going to be a red carpet. There's going to be the fashion show. There's going to be like 6 to 8 speakers. I think Jim Lutz from San Diego is going to be there as well. Maria is going to be there, and then there will be all kinds of networking, all kinds of other stuff. Maria's events are very, very good. They're very high end. I actually have to like wear nice clothes, which is new to me. But I'm looking forward to it. And I'm going to cover it on behalf of Shift Magazine, and I'm going to be writing an article about it, interviewing people. So this will be good content for me as well. And then I'm taking one of the interns, Taylor. She's going to be writing articles and stuff. So very happy to have the one of the new interns there. So yeah, that's going to be today. It actually starts in about 2.5 hours. So I'm gonna start getting ready for it. But anyway, that's everything going on. If you need something to do today in San Diego, feel free and check out the Queens Expo. You can Google it. Go to FireUpConnect/events, and there's going to be a lot of successful people there. A lot of chances to network and meet some of San Diego's best business leaders, investors, entrepreneurs, whatever. Super excited. And Rue says he's needing to get back out to networking events, soft launch new company for a lunch party. Love it. Yeah, expansion, Rue. That's what it's all about, dude. Just expansion. Figure it out. I gotta say, the last 2 weeks have been a blessing. Like all of March has been a blessing, but I've been working so freaking hard. I met up with Patrick Kirby, who is one of the best nonprofit consultants in the country. I met up with Coach Nick Devlin, who was one of my PR clients. And then I found out today that Abby Barreto, my latest PR client, we just ended our PR run. And she got featured in a massive magazine. I think it's called CT, but it's about Connecticut. And we fought tooth and nail for weeks to get her in there. And it finally came through. And Abby was featured just for shits and giggles. I applied on her behalf to get her in the largest newspaper in the region, the Hartford Courant. They did a front page article on her. And then we got her on TV. We got her on, Soft Rep Radio. We got her on the Vertical Momentum podcast with Rich Kaufman. Thank you, Rich Kaufman, for interviewing her. Spectacular. And of course, we featured Abby in Shift Magazine because her story was wild. So if you haven't heard of Abby Barreto, her father was a Marine lieutenant, a helo pilot, and he perished in an unfortunate helicopter crash doing NATO missions with the Norwegian Marines. And she made a documentary called The Ring in the Mountain about him. And the real story about the Ring in the Mountain is that after his unfortunate accident, a hiker was out hiking where the accident happened 20 years later and found his Annapolis ring. Like literally found his ring in some rocks. Imagine the odds. Tracked her down. And then she flew to Norway for a ceremony with the Norwegian Marines and did a documentary about it called The Ring in the Mountain. If you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube. It is heartfelt. It is unbelievable. If you're a Marine, this is the shit that Marines really, really get into is heritage, history, famous Marines, things like that. Abby's documentary, The Ring in the Mountain, has been shown at Annapolis. And then one other thing I was able to set up for her is I got her a sit-down interview with Tunnels to Towers, who's this giant nonprofit on the East Coast. CEO is Frank something. And they're going to be doing some kind of partnership deal with Abby. And it was like a funny request, kind of a random thing. She said, "Hey Rob, can we try this?" And I sent out some emails, looked them up, and they reached out like a day later. So Abby and I had all kinds of wins. It was a very good campaign. But anyway, The Ring in the Mountain, spectacular. And Abby also became my second client in my history. that got 5 for 5. She got newspaper, podcast, TV, magazine, and radio uh, interviews on top of a partnership with a multi-million-dollar nonprofit, and then CT magazine as well, which was like her dream. Um, so shout out to Abby Barretto. That's spectacular. All right. That should cover about everything for now. I want to thank you guys for checking this out. If you have any questions about business or entrepreneurship or really specifically PR and visibility, feel free to reach out to me. If you need more visibility or media interviews for your company, check out GarciaGlobalMedia.com. That's where you can find out what we do. That is my premium brand, but I also have like more um, beginner packages. If you guys need something that's like mellow and you don't have $25,000, I totally get it. Right? We can put something together. I can find something. If you're just starting off in business or you just want to, get the Costco sampler of PR, like stick your finger in the water. I do have Tactical CEQ Elite, where you can work with me one-on-one, building your PR plan, get my guidance for your business. That's only $50 a month. That's a really, really good deal, and it helps people out with stuff. All right, Bruce is going to be on Tuesday meetup for full segment. So I do a Tuesday call to the public if I know you. We have a group call, a lot of veterans. We get on, we talk about personal stuff, business stuff. It's a really, really good hang, but you have to be approved. You have to be like Thor's hammer. You have to be worthy. All right. That's all I got for now. And I just want to thank you guys for checking this out. Hopefully this is entertaining. I'm going to my event today. Hope you're having an amazing weekend, and we will talk soon. I'm not doing as many broadcasts live just because I'm doing other business stuff, but I always think about you guys. Really grateful for the support. And if you need inspiration, check out Shift Magazine. ShiftLifeDesign.com. You can read it for free. You can also get printed versions if you would like. It's a wonderful, wonderful publication that supports veterans and people in need. I am very, very proud of this. I made this 8 years ago from the back of my head. The name itself means something. And this is what I'm going to close off with. If you think about, first of all, words mean things. And when you think about Shift Advanced Life Design, it means that we all have the ability to shift upwards and to create and design the life of our dreams. I truly, truly believe that. And that's why I came up with a magazine, so that I could shortcut you to the people that can help you get there. Shift has very high editorial standards. It's an all-veteran staff. I've interviewed Scott Oldford, Steve Sims, Delta Force, SEAL Team 6, some Green Berets, a lot of amazing people that can elevate you if you're receptive. And so in 2025, my happiness is probably up 1,000%. My weight is down. I'm exercising more. I'm eating a lot better, drinking less, attracting clients, launched a new media company. I'm doing all this stuff. I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying my life rapidly improved because I did the work and I was ready to actually commit to creating a better life for myself. 99% of people that complain about their lives and are not happy will not do the work, and that's okay. But if you wonder why so many people are miserable, they're broke, they're not satisfied with their life, they're in a bad relationship, all this different stuff, it is because they won't change. And for me, I had to change. And that's why 2025 has been so kick-ass for me, because I forgave myself. I looked past a lot of childhood trauma. I stopped blaming other people for things. I stopped the negative self-talk, started loving myself again in a healthy way. And I started appreciating the people in my life. That was the big one. appreciating the people that show up and support me. Rue, Mike Peterson, Gus Gonzalez, Joe Palacios, Jared Ledbetter. Every time I go live, these guys are there. Mark Dudek. And I do the same for them. If I see their stuff, I'm going to share it. I'm going to like it. I'm going to comment. If they have like business stuff they're selling, I'm going to help them sell it. Doug Barry, exactly. But once you look past the selfishness of your actions and you start becoming selfless and you start building an army around you and you treat it like parliament, not a monarchy, that's the greatest foot stomp I can give you for business. Treat your business network like parliament. Means everybody gets a vote, everybody gets attention, not a monarchy. You don't put yourself above people. I don't care how rich and successful I get, and trust me, my goals are pretty lofty. I'm going to get up there. I will never ever place myself in a position where I feel like I'm better than other people, no matter how much money I make. I don't care. I will treat the way that I always look at it. I treat janitors like CEOs, and I treat CEOs like janitors. And if you remember that, you will always be humble. You will always be approachable. You will always be likable. And that's who I want to be. I want to be respected. I want people to just enjoy being my friend, and I want to be the awesomest friend ever. That's how I look at business. And that's why I think a lot of people are receptive to the way that I run things. And I surround myself with good people. That's another one real quick. Energy is important. And if you have people, Michael, if you have people that are energy leeches, they're always angry. They're complaining about everything. They always have a problem. They have drama. They don't act right. They always need you to fix something for them or get them out of a bind. These are not the people you want in your close network. Okay. Once I started removing these people, and trust me, I've been blocking with impunity lately. I don't give a shit. My life got better because guess what? When you cut out all the negative people, you send them on their way. You're like dispelling their energy, man, like a Prince song. Things get better. You're in a better mood. You're not like responding to crisis and drama and crazy shit all the time because your friends are a little bit more stable. They're more not erratic. Okay? So cut out negative people. Trim the fat. Okay. The way I think about it is there's a dinner table. It's a gold-plated dinner table. It's got all these fine jewels and like goblets and amazing silverware and dishes and the best food you've ever seen. But that dinner table, metaphorically, only has 10 chairs. And you better fill them with the right people. Because those are the people that you're going to be having dinners with and learning from. Okay. So you find yourself a Gus Gonzalez, you find yourself a Doug Barry, you find yourself a Rue Munoz or Annette Wittenberger or Tammy Moses. You find the right people to sit at that table. And then you get invited to some pretty awesome tables yourself. I'm really speaking in a lot of analogies today. This is interesting. I'm not going to start quoting the Bible or anything, I promise, but it's just funny. I'm just kind of sharing like things I've learned, like wisdom and shit. I don't know, feeling reflective today. But anyway, that's all I got, guys. I got to start getting ready for this event, but I hope you have an amazing weekend. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to reach out to me. And for those of you on TikTok, I know none of you know who I am, which is fine. I do business visibility and PR in San Diego. I can service anybody in any country in the world, any state in the nation, whatever. If you want to have a nice no pressure call to talk about PR and visibility, what I can do for your business, feel free to message me. And if you have questions that you want to see, like what I do, GarciaGlobalMedia.com, and you can get a good idea. I've gotten 35 people on TV, 11 industry level magazine placements, and a whole lot of other awesome stuff for my clients. And I will have a campaign for you that'll work. It'll increase your sales. It'll get you interviews. I own my own magazine, so I can do ads and write about you. I have a lot of superpowers that are awesome. So TikTok, reach out if you got questions. All right. And Rue says, truth, it's those tables that you create that determine the future. Love these segments, bro. Thank you, Rue. Your positivity, dude, keeps me going sometimes. Swear to God. And it's awesome seeing your growth as well. This is why you're doing so well. All right, guys. That's all I got for today. Gonna get ready, cold shower, the whole 9 yards, but believe in yourself. Pet a strange dog today and drink lots of coffee, and your life will get better. That's my dad advice today. This is Rob Garcia, the Warrior Strategist, coming at you from San Diego, California. And as always, stay famous. I'll see you next time.